Hey, this is John Bollinger with Premier Guitar. Today we're taking a look at the new Lifeson Epiphone signature guitar. So before I get into this very cool instrument, take a second, push that shiny red button down below somewhere and subscribe. We'll keep you up to date on all this great guitar nerdery. So speaking of guitar nerdery, man, I think every guitar player, every musician owes it to themselves to listen to Rush, because it's not like, they're not like, what's Rush like? Rush is like Rush. They sound like nothing else. And I think part of the magic of it is they had these very rigid arrangements with, it's almost like, I mean, it's kind of prog, it's kind of whatever, but Alex he'd play these very sophisticated, intricate parts, and then when it came to his solos, it was total sonic madness. So you have this very rigid format, and then he would just go off. So anyway, that's my shout out to you, Alex. Love your work, and I'm thrilled about this guitar. So a few years ago, Gibson came out with the version of this guitar, and it cost $5,500, which, that's a lot. Epiphone just released this for a mere $899, and I'm telling you, man, it is a great design. Let me just talk about a few things I really love about it. We'll start with this. He really went for this ergonomic deal. I think oftentimes engineers and people designing instruments, they don't have that practical experience that players have. And over the years, he was like, man, I want a belly cut on this thing. So what he did is he had them cut out a cool belly cut there and hand, kind of a beveled edge right there for his hand. And great minds think alike, and apparently so do ours, because I did the same thing to my Les Paul. My apologies, Gibson. But yeah, I hollowed that out and did the same thing right there with a belt sander. And so I was kind of thrilled when I picked up this guitar. It felt like an old friend. So good for you. Other ingredients that I really love, or innovations, I guess, it has a piezo pickup in it with a secondary jack. So when they're playing live, I think he runs the piezo to probably through all these, like you would any acoustic, through properties and make it sound more like an acoustic box. But it gives you the option of running it separately or running it all through the same cord with your other pickups as well. And let me just put on a clean tone, and you can hear it a bit. Now, granted, I am running through a Blues Junior, so not ideal, but you'll get the idea. So when you run it, this control right here, which is normally your tone, is actually your piezo on and off. So when you're running through just one output, you can bring down these two pickups just with the knob and then feather in this once you engage it by pushing it down, which I think is a little counterintuitive. I would have had it the other way, but Alex, you had your reasons. So push it down, you've engaged it. I mean, I'm a little critical of any plug-in acoustic, but this is about as close as you can kind of hope to get. If I was running say my Hummingbird with a bag through the same amp, it's going to sound pretty similar. They really nailed it. But what I love about it is it gives you this option of combining that piezo with your other pickups. So I'll just show you a cool little trick there. Like here's our bridge pickup. By the way, another cool thing, I'm jumping around a little bit, but these have push pulls to make these both single coil. So you've got all these tonal options. So let me just show you what I was messing with. So you got in the middle position with both pickups on and both single coil and the piezo off. Now you can kind of feather in this middle pickup It's a cool tone. It's not really a Strat, it's not really a Les Paul, it's kind of its own thing. And then when I take it out, you can hear it. And I think it gives it kind of a nice percussive thing. Anyway, cool little bit of innovation. Now let's get to these pickups. So Epiphone went with their Pro Buckers, which sounds a lot like burst buckers, and there's a reason for that. They went with 18% nickel silver, the same alloy used by Gibson in the Kalamazoo factory back in the day when the PAF was invented. They use Alnico 2 magnets, and they vacuum potted these to eliminate microphonics. So they're really going for that PAF thing, and man, I think they sound killer. And I've taste tested it too. I've got burst buckers in this one, and I think, I don't know, for whatever came with that one, that's probably 15 years old, so they might be burst buckers. I'm not even sure anymore. But these are a little hotter, but I think really, God, really just expressive. Let me just get yakking and you can hear it a little bit. So here's your bridge. So, you know, there's a whatever kind of tone, but here, let's get a little bit of dirt on it. So pretty great, right? And then you can split that coil. Just a great tone. And what I like, you'll notice there's not a huge difference in volume. I don't know how they did that, but it's maybe the single coil is a little bit quieter or a little bit, you know, a little less volume, but not much. It's negligible. So that's full humbucker. It's funny because it's almost like it's the same volume, only EQ'd differently, it almost feels like. But they really nailed it there. And then, of course, you put some filth on it. Here's a single coil. Humbucker. Here's the neck a little bit. Let me go clean first on it. You can see what that does. Full humbucker. I love it, man. Very jazzy. Then we'll put that single coil on, and we've got this. You know, that is a very convincing single coil tone. So I love that he has one instrument that's giving you all those sonic options. Great studio tool. And if you're a Rush fan, you know they're all about sonic options. I mean, Geddy's running bass pedals with his feet, playing a double neck bass and keys, you know, sometimes at the same time while he's singing. And then Alex has got, you know, at times a double neck, and it's really cool to watch the I guess the evolution of the band, because in 50 years ago when they started out, there were very few options. But one of the first things he had a 335, and then he got into that 355, which, you know, has the rotary deal. And I wonder if that if he is drawn to that guitar because it gave you a lot of sonic options like this goes, and this is kind of the next development on that. Anyway, I love the fact that this thing does so much. So here's some more ingredients to it. Medium jumbo frets. The fingerboard radius is a 12, which is a very comfortable, flattish feel to it. It's a skinny neck. I've got a 61 355, and man, this feels like that guitar. Radius is different, but as far as the girth of the neck, it's a skinny neck. And although I have big hands, I like a skinny neck. You can kind of get around a little bit better. I feel less fatigue. Other ingredients, it's a dual action truss rod, and the bridge is actually a Graphtec Ghost tremolo. It's got a little more give, or a little less give. It's a little stiffer than others I've played, which I like. Comes with the locking nut, the R4 locking nut. Let's do the test. Hey man, that's as close as I ever get to in tune. Everything on this guitar was a decision that he made. That's like, this is what I want. I know there are signature guitars out there. Well, hell, the Les Paul. Les Paul chose the color on his signature guitar at first before he got to tweak it. And that's not too uncommon. A lot of people get their signature and they're like, here's your signature, how do you like it? I know Barney Kessel was like that and several others. But Alex designed this thing, man, and he wanted it to do everything he could. So very impressive. So the rest of the guitar is pretty standard Les Paulish, as you'd expect. This is a mahogany body, mahogany neck. The fretboard is a wood called Indian Laurel. Not familiar with it, but it looks like rosewood. The top is actually a AAA maple veneer. I'd like it to be a big chunk of maple, but you can't argue with the way it sounds. And it does look great. It just has that classic Les Paul look. And it's not a particularly light Les Paul. I have heavier ones, I have lighter ones, but I would put this on the average size. And I would expect it to be a little lighter because there is some wood taken out, in back here. Your battery access right there, Floyd and stuff. But all in all, a really impressive guitar. And, that 5,500 for the Gibson version, that's a lot to chew off. But at $899, I mean, hey man, very impressive. So good on you, Epiphone. Good on you, Alex. Good on you, Rush. Man, 50 years. That is an amazing rock and roll band. So play on, amigos. This is John Bolger. Till next time.